Thanks.
And what is the role of the government? Because I also read and hear a lot from businesses that we talk to, both existing and people thinking about it, is that they also worry about taxes that are too high and regulation that is too much. Is that a valid complaint?
It is a valid complaint. I think one of the things that the government is looking at through this Jobs Council the President put in place is what do you do about regulation? Even the Small Business Administration in the last few months did 8 regional roundtables called Reducing Barriers. So what can be done to make sure that regulations don't slow the development of new companies and help them as they scale? So there is work to be done on that front. And you do need to make sure you've got the right tax incentives to drive investment, whether it be early stage investment or later stage investment. There are also things the government needs to do regarding education and talent. How do we make sure that our schools really are developing people with the right science and engineering backgrounds? And how, particularly in the meantime, do we continue to be a magnet for high-skilled immigrants who want to start companies here? That immigration policy is very complicated. I know very sensitive for some, very, very emotional. But the reality is these high-skilled immigrants are job makers, not job takers. In Silicon Valley, look at the technology companies. 25% of the successful ones have been started by immigrants. So we really need to make sure that we get the best and brightest, not just in our schools here and give them PhDs, but when they graduate, we get them to stay here and start companies here, not start companies in other places.
It's kind of a tough sell in the current environment, as you know, and while it may make perfect sense to you, if you're in a country where the unemployment rate is so high, people are saying, why are we allowing people who are immigrants who are not American citizens at this point to stay in and have all the opportunities? Why isn't the American workforce ready to do the sorts of things you're talking about?
Well, it's 2 parts to that. The first part, the statistics show they are job creators. That 40% of the Fortune 500 were started either by immigrants or children of immigrants. So they are creating great companies, and we want them to create those companies here. If we send them off to other countries, they'll create the companies there, and that's where we're going to see the jobs and the economic growth. So that's a key part of it, making you really are a magnet. Meanwhile, we do need to do a better job of educating a workforce that's ready for this next generation of the economy.
Where do you see in the long run? Is there a particular sector, and is the answer just always high tech? Is there a particular sector where the jobs are going to be?
Well, technology obviously is going to be important, but it's not just technology companies as standalone companies. A lot of the excitement is how do you take the technology, and certainly as part of that, take the internet and apply it to more traditional